Today on Outside the Box Reviews, Predator Week continues. And today we're looking at the NECA Predators Series 10, the Kenner Tribute line. And this is the Nightstorm Predator. And just like the Hive Wars, NECA came up with their own little backstory. This guy apparently existed back when the normal Predators and the Super Predators were still buddy-buddy, and they went to Earth to hunt the ancient Egyptians, and then he kind of ended up not being so happy with his Predator friends and became his own little separate Super Predator tribe and eventually ascended to the rank of Elder. So there's your little backstory for this guy. I'm not sure how I feel about the whole story there, but I like the Egyptian theming on it, so let's take a closer look at him. Primary accessory we get here is his spear, staff, whatever you want to call it. This is really cool looking. It's a nice update on what Kenner gave us. The spike going through the head, a very cool looking human skull, probably just taken from one of their trophy sets. Very nice Egyptian looking staff, a little thing to cover up the arm guard, and a little ball at the end. Looking very Egyptian, very cool, and very sinister. I like it a lot, actually. I really dig this accessory. Nightstorm himself has a very interesting biomask on it. You can see the mandibles coming out from inside. He has these big silver eyes. He has some kind of horns up at the top. It's a very large biomask, a very crazy detailed one. Here on the side, we actually have some Predator writing, and apparently this says Kenner Tribe on it. But very cool looking, very Egyptian looking, and also very true to the original figure. But in this, they've given us the one thing that people have begged for many series now, a removable mask. Now this works a lot better because A, it lets the mandibles through, and B, it is kind of an oversized piece. But we can actually take a look inside here and see all the inner workings on the mask, and that's really nice detail in there. Very cool looking. And underneath, we get the unmasked Berserker Predator head, the exact same head sculpt there, but very cool looking in that blue gradient paint scale with the purple inner mouth there and the glowing white eyes. Very neat looking. The back dreads are the long Super Predator dreads, once again reflecting that Egyptian look with the gold little pieces in it. He also has Berserker's plasma caster up here, a little bent, but still pretty cool. It will swivel side to side just like the original, and then also rotate up here at the end. It's a very cool looking Egyptian style armor piece that comes up over his shoulder, big collar around the neck, very high collar, which looks really neat, a shoulder pauldron. Let's see, I don't even think I've moved this stuff out of the way to get a look at the back. But yeah, it just continues being a very high collar back there. Some extra detailing down here. It actually looks like it has a peg hole in here. I don't know what you could peg in there, but that's kind of neat. I wonder if you could put the falcon on him if you wanted to. And this piece down to the side sticks out a little bit, which is weird. Am I moving it maybe? No, this part just sticks out a little bit further than it probably should, but whatever, not a big deal. The loincloth down here, while it is painted differently, it's basically the same one we got on Berserker. The little flap here in the back. On the upper arm, we have this little floating piece of armor that has a tendency to fall down, so that's a little bit of a pain in the butt. Same on both sides, so you can see it's supposed to be much higher, I guess, because this one's up high. This one's all slid down low. The wrist gauntlet is an area where I have an issue with this. It's a cool looking gauntlet, looks like the Kenner figure, but I feel like they kind of went away from doing what they should have done. You can see there's a sculpted in little dot there that looks like a hinge, and then there's this little dial here that looks like it would have been a pivot point. And what I assumed originally when I saw prototype images was that this was supposed to not extend like it does, but it was actually supposed to rotate back into these deep set grooves at the top, and then this part was supposed to fold down. So instead of having a extending Predator claw, it was actually supposed to fold away. I'm sure that would have been a pain in the butt to add all those extra mechanisms, but it would have been kind of cool. But it still looks really cool. It's huge and vicious looking when it's fully extended. When you put it back in and keep it not fully extended, it doesn't really change the length all that much. It's kind of a pathetic change, but whatever, it works. He has a closed hand on this side, and then the gripping hand for his staff on this side. I like the gauntlet they gave him here, and the hand piece looks like a great extension of it, looking very brutal and you're gonna punch somebody in the face with it kind of thing. Here on the legs, he has some more floating armor, so it has a tendency to slide up and down, which is kind of a pain, but it's a nice coppery color. Some wraps around his knee here, and a higher knee guard up here, both going into golden shin guards, and then the traditional Super Predator feet. For articulation, we have a ball joint at the neck, which is very hindered by this armor here. Pin socket shoulder forward, back out to the side, bend and swivel at the elbow, ball joint at the wrist, kind of a ball joint at the waist, but really more of a swivel than anything else. V cut at the crotch, swivel at the upper leg, bend and rotate the knee. Mine's pretty loose. Swivel just below the knee and the leg, and then swivel at the boot. I believe this is also a ball joint in here, but all you can get out of it is that swivel. So overall, I think they did a great job on this Nightstorm Predator. I think they did a really great job on it. I love the Egyptian look. It kind of reminds me of another childhood favorite film that was Stargate, and they kind of had the Egyptian-style aliens in that. So I kind of like that influence there. I love that they picked to use a Super Predator body on it. I think it just makes him look that much meaner, and he's just a vicious guy. The removable mask is really cool. The only things that really bug me are the lack of ambition on the wrist blade, the pieces of armor that tend to move around way too much when you handle them, and the fact that he still does have the limited articulation. I didn't expect them to retool the body. I really don't think they'll ever retool this body with better articulation, at least not for a long time now. But I think my gripes are pretty minor, and overall I do recommend him. I think he might be the strongest of the set. Make sure you check out Outside the Box Reviews on Facebook. There'll be a link below. Also check out Outside the Box Reviews on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. And until next time, stay tuned because Predator Week continues. If you collect it, you can find it at allscaleseverything.com.